Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Let's begin with a heart tap. Once again, we encourage you to go into gallery view to see the members of our community. It's great to see all of you. Prior to 6 o'clock, the clergy were in the meeting room. We typically go over the service, but today I guess we were laughing together as Purim is fast approaching this coming Thursday night, and it's Adar, a month of rejoicing. We were actually joking around and saying our hope for next year on Purim is that everyone's costume is what we wore during Zoom services once upon a time. I think we'll just recreate next year. You know, you can bring your chair or your couch into the sanctuary, wear your pajamas. We're looking forward to the day when we return to the sanctuary. At the same time, I have to say, it's good to see all of you on Shabbat on Zoom. It is wonderful to gather. We have learned that we can celebrate in this way. And it is Adar. It's the month of our rejoicing. And in the Jewish tradition, we read, be happy quite a lot. We read, Ivdu et Hashem b'simcha, serve God with a deep sense of joy. The question, of course, is we know we're supposed to serve God with joy, but how do you do joy? And for that, fortunately, Judaism also provides an answer by distinguishing joy from happiness. And that's what I want to begin with today, because there are two separate words in Hebrew for joy and happiness. Happiness is actually the word ashrei. It appears in our liturgy quite often. Our Bar Mitzvah students learn the ashrei. Ashrei is happiness, but joy is simcha. And while ashrei appears quite often, the word simcha appears even more often. And there's an important difference. I once read that happiness you can pursue. We actually learned that in the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all human beings are created equal, that they're endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But joy is very different. We don't pursue joy. Rather, joy pursues us. It comes when we're doing other things, like gathering here, celebrating life with others, doing something purposeful by living in the image of God. So that's my hope for all of us this month, this evening. We don't pursue happiness, rather we celebrate life, we reflect, and ultimately, God willing, joy pursues us. So let's begin together with the cantor L'chunaran, Let Us Rejoice.
I've made a switch, Rabbi. You inspired me. Ivdu et Hashem b'simcha, ivdu et Adonai b'simcha, bo lefanav birnana, ivdu et Adonai b'simcha, ivdu et Adonai b'simcha, bo lefanav birnana, la la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la la, la la, ya la la, ya la, ya la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la, ya la, and again, ya la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la, ya la, ya la, ya la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la.
Thank you. What a great way to begin Shabbat and Adar, preparing ourselves for Purim. If you have candles in front of you, we invite you to light them for us at this time. And if you place them in front of you, you have invited us to place you on the screen, because there is no Bar Mitzvah tomorrow. This was the holiday week, the President's Week, that we don't schedule typically. So Emily, if we can highlight someone's candlesticks as the cantor leads us in the prayer.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
Amen. And we continue with the word Shalom Aleichem. And I once learned that while Shalom Aleichem means hello, when we say Shalom Aleichem in the Yiddish, it means a lot more than hello. It means, how are you doing? How's your family? How are the kids? How you feeling? And so we say Shalom Aleichem to each other, and we say it with an intimacy, welcoming Shabbat.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharit, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boechem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
So let us continue welcoming Shabbat with joy, with words of Lecha Dodi. Let's join together.
Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmi'anu el ha'miuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'li tehila, Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Hinei Shabbat, Nekabela, Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Hinei Shabbat, Nekabela, Likrat Shabbat, Lechuven Elcha, Ki hi Mekor HaBeracha, Merosh Mikerem, Nesucha, Sof Maaseh, B'machshava Tchila, Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Hinei Shabbat, Nekabela, Hitoreri, Kiva Orech, Kumi Ori, Uri invite you, if you are able to, please rise in body or spirit as we greet the Sabbath bride. Boi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'v'tzola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, boi chala, olecha dodi likrat kala, o penei Shabbat nekabela, olecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela, penei Shabbat
So I invite us to return to gallery view so we can see the faces of those who are with us this evening. And let us find our breath and our seat and situate ourselves as we join together in words of Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
So we continue with words of let there be love, perhaps this week reflecting on the love we give and the love that we receive in order to build a world of peace and understanding and truly helping to create God's shelter of peace, of shalom in this world. Let's join together.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, leshalom. V'ha'amidenu, shomreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu, sukat shlomecha. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, leshalom. If you're curious about the hand motions, I see my friend Drew Ganitsky actually helping us along here. So let's all join together, just words, humming, hand motions, whatever moves you. Let there be love. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
So let us turn to the Amidah. And I invite you to rise if it is your custom, if you are able. And I invite all of us at this time, as we're reflecting on joy, to place in the chat box some blessing of joy, some gift of joy you want to give to our community, something perhaps you experienced this week. And as we watch these words of joy, these gifts of blessing to our community, let us allow them to lift up our prayers at this time.
Adonai, Sefatai Tivta, V'yagid Tehilatecha, Adonai, Sefatai Tivta, V'yagid Tehilatecha, open up our lips that we may praise your name. Open up our hearts that we may feel our pain. Open up our souls, let our love make us whole, and we will praise your name, Adonai, Sefatai Tivta, V'yagid Tehilatecha, Adonai, Sefatai Tivta, V'yagid Tehilatecha.
I invite you to take a few moments in personal prayer. And if you haven't, to scroll through the chat, because it is truly extraordinary, the gifts of joy, the gifts of blessing that we shared this week.
There are so many ways to pray for peace that I was having difficulty choosing which melody to use tonight. I hope you'll join me. Oh, say shalom. Be Roma. Oh, say shalom. Shalom. Huya ase, ya'aseh shalom. Hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu. 1, 2, 3, 4. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oh, say shalom. B'rama. Oh, say shalom. B'rama.
So let us take a moment to offer prayers for those in need of healing, healing of mind, of body, of spirit, of soul, for those who are in need of heat, in need of shelter, those who need the prayers of our community at this time. And so I invite you to share the names of the loved ones those close to you, those far from you, who you are asking for prayers of healing at this time as we join together with words of Misha Berach.
Yisheberach avoteinu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Yisheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
And of course, on Shabbat, each Shabbat, we give thanks for the sacred moments we've shared during this past week, God-given times like birthdays. And so if you have celebrated another year on this earth this week, we invite you to raise your hand so that we can acknowledge you and say happy birthday. I'm told that Alan Solomon celebrated his birthday this week, and Drew Ganitsky, who was doing his hand motions with handfuls of green beans at the same time. Now we know why he's growing so strong. Turned 2 this week. I see others celebrating their birthday as well. Happy birthday. How about anniversaries? Any anniversaries? Mazel tov to you. How about the gift of new life? I'm told that Pamela Goldberg has a granddaughter named Lila, the daughter of Rick and Amy. And so Pamela, mazel tov. I'm also told that she was named for, I have to figure this out, your father, which makes it Lila's great grandfather. And this would be his 101st birthday. So what a joy to celebrate the birth of Lila, the gift of new life. How about anyone feeling good, just feeling like they have new life? Maybe they're recovering from illness or a surgery. We give thanks to God for feeling good again. How about a first, a shehechianu first? You did something new this week, perhaps outside in the snow or inside. That's great. Well, let's give thanks for all of these opportunities of shehechianu. But before we sing together, we have another very sacred moment in our Beit Midrash, where Rabbi Sapphire is sitting in her mask. So Rabbi Sapphire?
Thank you, Rabbi Sisselmine. We have a wonderful simcha, a wonderful joy to celebrate as we have welcomed into the Jewish community a new member who has joined us for Shabbat tonight. Robin Yee immersed in the mikveh at Mayim Chaim yesterday. It was such a joy, joined by student Rabbi Lesner and Cantor Zell on Zoom, and it was her 38th birthday. So she certainly deserves a Mazel Tov and a Shehechianu. So she is here with us in our Beit Midrash to stand before the Torah and receive a blessing. So I'm going to ask her, she's going to purell her hands. And if you want to rise in body or spirit to join her as she opens our ark. And Robin is going to place her hands on the Torah as we ask for God's blessing upon her. Robin, you stand before the presence of the Torah, the Jewish people's most cherished treasure. It has led us on the way and guided us ever since we received it. It has been carried when our people have fled harm and held high during the times of our greatest rejoicing. As you place your hand upon the Torah this Shabbat and bind yourself to our highest ideals, we offer a blessing upon you. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, our God and God of those who have come before us, God of Abraham, our father, and Sarah, our mother, bless Chaya bat Avraham Avinu v'Sara imanu, as we welcome her into your covenant and into the community of Israel. May she find contentment in her spiritual practice. May the good deeds of her hands and heart bring her joy and fulfillment. May she feel at home within our faith, nurtured to grow spiritually and intellectually. God, we are grateful for the inspiration which Robin has brought to us, the energy and excitement she has shown, the commitment that she has made. May we as a people continue to be blessed by her presence, and may she go from strength to strength. And let us all say, Amen.
Amen.
So Robin is going to close the ark, and she has prepared a few words from her journey statement that she wrote for conversion to share with all of you. So Robin, come on forward.
You may be seated as the ark is closed.
I have learned that being Jewish is not something that you can do alone, and that it is important to have a strong community for support. When searching for a synagogue, I wanted to feel a connection with the clergy and to the synagogue itself. My former client and now friend, Marilyn O'Connell, suggested I reach out to Rabbi Sapphire. She felt that Rabbi Sapphire's interfaith background would provide a common ground that I would be able to identify with. From the moment I met Rabbi Sapphire, all the pieces of the puzzle started to fit together, and I knew that TBE was the place to move forward with my conversion. The most rewarding part of my experience has been the new friendships I have cultivated along the way. Some of you have attended intro class with me, joined me for services, and even hosted me for high holidays. Your willingness and enthusiasm to teach and spend time with me has not only made me feel welcomed, but validated my decision to convert. I have grown to appreciate the sense of community I feel when I attend Shabbat services, the thoughtfulness of acknowledging a loved one's yard site, anniversary, or birthday provides an inclusiveness and togetherness that has become difficult during the pandemic. I know that as I continue my practice and these relationships will grow even stronger. I wholeheartedly and without reservation feel that converting was the right decision for me. And I would like to thank my family and my friends who have supported me and continue to support me. This moment is even more special because you are all here to celebrate with me. So thank you.
Mazel tov.
Thank you so
Mazel
much.
tov.
And mazel tov to you, Robin. So let us join together in these Shehechianu moments of new life, new opportunity, and of course, great welcome. So let's join together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh.
So before we hear words of Torah, I just want to acknowledge Robin and Rabbi Sapphire in our Beit Midrash. I think I speak for many of us who say that I found it deeply meaningful to see you in the Beit Midrash. To see you in masks reminds me of the uniqueness of this time, that sometimes I escape from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock on Friday night. And the profound sense of loss came when I wanted to give you a hug, Robin, and saying Mazel Tov. So this is a huge virtual hug from our entire community and shouts of Mazel Tov. I hope you can hear all of our voices through Zoom with a collective heart tap. And we can't wait to welcome you into our midst physically when we see you in the sanctuary once again. So once again, Mazel Tov. Good to see you. Good to see our Beit Midrash, and Shabbat Shalom. Thanks, Rabbi, for opening the building for Robin. Let us now transition to our student, Rabbi Lesner, who has prepared words of Torah for us so that we continue our learning for Shabbat on Zoom. Ryan.
Thank you, Rabbi. Let's all take a collective deep breath. And bring that joy into this space together. So this evening, as I do every Shabbat evening these days, I join you from the sunroom of my apartment. Throughout the pandemic, I have made this space the space where I do my schoolwork, where I take meetings, I eat lunch, I write, I play music, video chat with my friends, and pretty much anything and everything that isn't sleeping. And even a few times I have dozed off in this chair. It's become a sacred space for me to create, and to learn, and relax when things get overwhelming. And I've set up this space very intentionally. I have surrounded myself with books that my teachers have given me, some of my favorite vinyl records over here, a poster from a concert I attended from one of my favorite bands, and if you don't know who Wolfpack is, have a listen after the services. I've got musical instruments over here, I have pictures of my family and friends over here, artwork that my partner made, and lots of plants that have come from places and people we love. As time has gone on, I have felt more and more isolated. The space has become a grounding place for me, and it serves as a reminder that even when I feel so alone, there are things in this space that surround me and remind me that I am still connected to the parts of my life that live outside of these walls. I can literally look at the gifts that people have given me and be reminded of our connection. Connection. This feels like the best word to describe what is happening in this week's Torah portion, Truma. But before we go into this portion's teachings, let's remind ourselves of where the Israelites are at in their journey now. Up until this point, the Israelites have done a lot of complaining. They were recently freed from slavery and crossed the Red Sea, and immediately after crossing, after a small moment of joyous dancing, they began complaining. saying it would have been better to serve the Egyptians than to die in the desert. Change, even good change, can be hard. They then complained about the lack of water, and then once they had water, they complained that it was too bitter. Then they complained about the lack of food, and then they ran out of water again. Then in a moment that lacked better judgment, they built a golden calf, perhaps out of frustration or an attempt to explicitly state that their needs were not being met. This unfortunate sequence demanded a critical response from God, who then said this: Moses, tell the Israelite people to bring me gifts. You will accept gifts for me from every person whose heart so moves them. And these are the gifts that you will accept: gold, silver, copper, blue, purple, and crimson yarns, fine linen, goat's hair, tanned skins, acacia wood, oil for lighting, spices for the anointing of oil and for the incense, stones for setting, and let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell among them. This is an incredible moment in our sacred text. God indeed hears the Israelites and identifies a path forward that supports the community. Just like a parent who realizes that their child needs a little bit of TLC, God takes a step back and then says, let's build something together. Let's be in connection in a way that we haven't been before. And from that moment on, when the Israelites took on the project of making the Mishkan, the sanctuary, there were no more complaints. People contributed what they could, the gifts of gold, silver, or bronze, and the skins and the drapes, and some even brought their skills of craftsmanship. Everybody worked on the Mishkan together. For this generation, God was only known through what Moses told them. There wasn't a close relationship. So by being in partnership with God, the people were now able to connect with the divine spirit and actually feel that God's presence was with them. Through this project, the Israelites could also recognize what resources and skills they had and attain some level of control, making intentional choices and putting effort into this construction. This project brought God and the Israelites into relationship in a way that they hadn't been before. To build the Mishkan, the Israelites needed to utilize every person's skills. They required an immense amount of generosity from those who were able to bring those gifts. Our commentators teach us the importance of the phrasing in the passage that I may dwell among them. Because for so long, God was up in the mountains, and only Moses was allowed to make the journey up and speak to God. So our commentators note that the building of the Mishkan was a way for God to not just sit up on high, but to actually meet the Israelites on their level and dwell among them. Our human nature seeks relationships, and so we search for ways to enter into relationships with that which is unreachable. By constructing a sanctuary, a sacred place, these once discontent people who were unsure of their purpose and scared of a future that they did not know, now through sacred connection and intentional relationship building, they are no longer complaining and are focused on an essential part of human experience: being in connection. The 18th century Hasidic master, Rabbi Levi Yitzchak of Berdichev, he teaches that this message was not just for those Israelites, but that this message is for all future generations. The next verse in our Torah states that the Israelites should build the Mishkan exactly as shown. The pattern of the tabernacle and the pattern of all of its furnishings, so shall you make it. According to the Hasidic master, this means that in every generation, when you want to build a temple, the structure should be in accordance with the prophecy that is attained at that time. That should determine the form of the temple's vessels. And so another way of saying this is that each person builds their own sanctuary that calls for what the moment needs. The Hasidic master wants to give us some agency over how we develop our sacred spaces. In whatever way we build our sanctuary, they should be in deep connection with the divine. And that may look different for us today than it did when the Israelites were traveling to the land of Israel. This week's portion feels so necessary right now. We learn in this portion that it is required to create sacred spaces to feel connected to the divine parts of our lives. And we should think intentionally about the cloths and the colors, all of the lighting and the decor to create a space that is grounding. And also remember that we have all the resources we need to do so. This teaching reminds us that everyone should contribute what they can to the Mishkan, because any gift that comes from the heart is worthy. Our Talmud teaches us that we are the partners and builders of peace in this world. And so all we have to do is remember the gifts we have in our lives that remind us of the present connections. In this time of uncertainty, we can take the words of this portion and remind ourselves that these words are for our generation and all the generations that came before us, and for all the generations that will come after us, and that it is up to us to connect for what is needed for this time. So let us continue to find ways to connect, find ways to be supportive of each other, and build the kind of sanctuary that we need right now to help us through this time. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Yasher Koach. Ryan, when I heard your words, I was reminded of one of my most favorite Hebrew songs. One I've sung here before in different contexts. But tonight I'm reminded of this message of connection, that we are all connected as one living human tissue, one organism. Kshe'amut mashehu mimeni, mashehu mimeni yamut becha, yamut becha. כשתמות משהו ממך בי, משהו ממך בי ימות איתך, ימות איתך, כי כולנו, כן כולנו, כולנו רקמה אנושית אחת חיה, ואם אחד מאיתנו הולך מימנו, אז משהו מת בנו, משהו נשאר איתו. נדע איך להרגיע, איך להרגיע את האיבה, אם רק נדע, אם נדע להשקיט את זעמנו על אף עלבוננו, להתחיל מההתחלה, כי כולנו, כן כולנו, כולנו רקמה אנושית אחת חיה, ואם אחד מאיתנו הולך מימנו, משהו מת בנו, משהו נשאר איתו. נשאר איתו.
We continue with words of Mourners Kaddish, and we invite the mourners in our midst to raise a hands or to stand at this time so that we can acknowledge you as mourners, those observing a yahrzeit or have lost a parent during the past 11 months or an immediate family member during the past 30 days. And we open up our chat room at the bottom so that you can type the names of those individuals you're remembering. And let me recite those relatives or members of our community who have passed during the past 30 days. Catherine Aberjali, David Brown, the father-in-law of Jane Brown, Jennifer Beth Cott, David Goldberg, Lois Mirsky, Dorothy O'Connell, Temple member Larry Rosen, who is the husband of Charmin and also the father of Mark and Leslie, Temple members, and Stephen Safro. I've also been asked to mention the names of Blossom Cohen, Bertram Dank, Michael Dank, Beryl Lazar, Joe Schwartz Schoen, Renee Silverstein and Mike Silverstein, Haskell Tidor, Sheila Weinstock, Patricia Sapphire, and Linda Zell Randall. We think of all of them at this time, along with those who are mentioned in our chat room, and we invite the mourners in our midst to join with me in the words of Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, v'yamad divrach ruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayed chol Beit Yisrael, v'galav izman kari v'imru amen. Hey Shmei Rabbah Mavarach Le'olam Olamei Omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei D'Kursha B'richu Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata Ta'miran b'yama v'imru Amen. Hey Shlama Rabba min Shemaya V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen.
Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Rabbi Sherman?
There is an unbelievable amount of programming to announce. So I hope that you will take a look at our e-blast. I hope that you will take a look at our Temple website. On the front page of our website, there's a calendar with an unbelievable amount of programming over the next number of days. I just want to make point to announce just a few things. Tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock, I hope you'll join us for Minyan and Torah study with Rabbi Gabi Dagan from our sister congregation, Ohel Avraham in Haifa. He will be teaching all the way from Israel. And so that'll be a really exciting opportunity to study with their community. On Monday evening, Rabbi Sissenwein, I believe the Sissenwein family secret Hamantashen recipe is going to be revealed.
Best Hamantashen.
The best secret Hamantashen recipe will be revealed. So if you want to bake with the Sissenweins, I hope you will check that out on Monday evening. On Tuesday, there's music club. There is just an unbelievable amount of things. I also just want to make note that this is the last week to sign up for our 21-day racial equity challenge. If you would like to get an email every day with some exercises and prompts to help us examine our unconscious biases and to further understand the roots of racism and its consequences, I hope that many of you will sign up and participate in that experience together.
Excellent. I want to mention, yes, so Monday we do have your Jewish bookshelf class along with the baking class of the best Hamantashen in the world. Tuesday is the music club. Wednesday, we have the celebration of Purim. We have a puppet show for families in the morning. There's also book club. And then Wednesday night, our Havaya community gathers for a Purim and Pride paint night, which is a fun evening celebrating our LGBTQ community through the story of Purim. Thursday night, 6 o'clock, right here, our Megillah reading, costume parade, and Purim. So we recognize that you pretty much only need a costume from the chest up, but we hope you get in costume on Zoom. We're asking that you dress as, Cantor Zell, help me out here. Something
We are asking for you to dress as something that is bringing you joy in 2021. So that is however you may interpret it.
You need to costume, something that brings you joy, and then Zoom is a visual medium. We will not be able to hear your grogger. So we want you to bring the loudest thing in your house to show us on Zoom. Could be a baby, could be a dog, could be a tuba. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to seeing the loudest thing in your house Thursday night as we drown out Haman together. And then Friday morning, we'll join for a Megillah reading, as well as study about the holiday of Purim.
And then next Saturday, it continues with more Ohel Avram learning on Purim together.
And finally, next Friday night, we do have a guest speaker. Our temple member, Todd Golub, was just named the director of the Broad Institute, and he is going to be with us on Shabbat, as he often is, but he will share some of the Broad Institute's research on testing and the variants that we're reading a lot about. He was in the Boston Globe very prominently this week. We're proud of him and look forward to hearing from him next Friday night.
And Rabbi, and just on that note, Rabbi Sapphire is asking us to remind our community members that if anyone needs help getting a vaccine over the age of 75, please reach out to the caring community. Rabbi Sapphire is initiating that.
Yeah, to help you make your way through the internet.
Correct. Thank you.
Great. So let us make Kiddush. So if you have a cup of wine, a glass of wine or juice, if you'll hold it high in the air, and Emily, who's behind the scenes, hopefully can highlight a few as we listen to these words.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lemaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabat l'chaim.
Take a sip. And now let's see a challah on the screen as we make motzi. And before we go, after motzi, we'll open up the mics, but I want to wish Robin a hearty mazel tov once again. And to your family, your friends who are on Zoom with us, we welcome them all. And we're glad that they could come celebrate with you.
Let's see a challah. I've seen some on Instagram. Oh, beautiful. Elsie, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon. Goldie, take a big piece.
Right of the challah, and now we'll release the microphones and wish each other Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Okay, Jacob.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom, everyone.
Santa Lewis's birthday.
Hi, Marilyn. Hi, Sam.
Shalom, John. Shabbat Shalom, Roger. Shabbat Shalom, Deborah. Shabbat shalom, Nadine. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, Roberta.
They're so small now.
Shabbat shalom, Nancy and Howard. Shabbat shalom, Margie. Shabbat shalom, Ricky. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
You're right next to Shalom.
Shalom, Amy and
Hear what you said.
Hi, Margie.
Shalom, everyone.
Enjoy. Janet Yardley.
Shabbat shalom,
Janet Yardley.
Shalom, Margie.
Shalom, Julie.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, Emily. Shabbat shalom, Harriet.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Eric.
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom, Rabbi Lazar. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom back at you.
Good to see you. It's what a blessing.
I agree, but I'm not gonna give. I'm not giving up. I'm not gonna stop.
Oh my gosh.
Bud and Peggy.
I'm trying to, it's
Hi, Harriet. Hi, Harriet. Hi, Peggy. Harriet.
Hi, Julie.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Hi, Peggy.
Hi, Harry. Hi, Jeff. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, hi, Bud. Hi, Peggy.
Hi,
On the prayer book,
Nancy.
shalom, Toby.
say your own prayers.
Hi,
God.
Nancy.
Jeff
And let's
Lazar.
include that later on with the
Shabbat shalom.
Adonai,
Shabbat shalom.
How do you spell?
How are you?
Adonai, open up my lips, let my mouth may declare
She just got there yesterday. Shabbat shalom, Mark and Nancy.
Adonai, Elohim, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei
Shabbat shalom, Peg and Al.
Ha'el Hagadol, Kol HaMorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim,
I know.
Konei HaKol, Zer Kasei, Avot Bima,